Don't apologize for being the storm they never saw coming. You were never meant to fit into their narrow box. Now you've shattered it. To the ones who thought they could hold you down, keep you small, silence your voice. Look around. It's too late now. The person who used to crumble under the weight of their judgment, who let their words shape your reality, is gone. They couldn't stop your rise then, and they won't stop it now. They thought you'd always remain a shadow of yourself, hiding in the corners, afraid of standing too tall, too loud. But look at you now, standing in your full glory, a force that can't be ignored. You've leveled up in ways they can't even comprehend. They didn't just underestimate you, they outright ignored the fire in your soul. And now they're burning, watching from the sidelines as the very energy they took for granted explodes into something unstoppable. You think they're just jealous? No, it's worse than that. They're terrified. The new you is a living reminder of all the potential they wasted. You, the one who used to give everything, are now someone whose very presence burns the air around them. Their games, their manipulations, their mind tricks, they don't work anymore. Your transformation is a reckoning, and it haunts them in ways you can't even begin to understand. You no longer bend, you no longer break. You stand tall like a tower in the storm. They underestimated the power of someone who has finally realized their worth, and now it's too late to backtrack. Your absence is louder than any confrontation, and your silence is deafening. This is a war, and you're no longer the casualty. You've become the one they fear, the one they can't control. The power of being chosen is not just in your ability to rise. It's in the haunting realization that those who once held power over you are now powerless to affect your course. Their words, their tactics, their criticisms are nothing more than dust against the storm you've become. The strength to walk away, to cut ties with the energy vampires, to leave them behind. This is where they lose. This is where you rise. But here's the thing, they will keep testing you. They will keep looking for cracks in your armor, waiting for a moment of weakness to creep through. They think that with time, you'll slip back into the box they put you in. But you've already broken free. You are no longer who you were, and the strength you now carry is unshakable. It's the kind of power that disturbs their very existence because they know they can't control it. Your energy, your boundaries, your confidence, they can't touch it. It's a level of freedom they never thought you could achieve. And now they're left scrambling, stuck in a loop of their own making, while you keep soaring higher. If this message resonates with you, if you're feeling the truth in your bones, hit that like button and subscribe. Help spread this to more chosen ones out there, because every time you engage, you send a signal to YouTube that this revolution is real. And trust me, the world needs to hear it. Your rise is not just yours. It's a beacon for others still stuck in the cycle, waiting for their turn to break free. Don't let them stay in the dark. Shine your light and watch as the world shifts around you. Now, listen closely, chosen one. The energy you've unlocked is not something they can ignore, no matter how hard they try. You've become a force that redefines the very air they breathe. The power you've harnessed doesn't just radiate from you, it invades their space. Every move you make, every decision, every ounce of self-respect you carry is a reminder of their failure to recognize you for who you truly are. They underestimated you. They thought they could control you. They thought they could manipulate your worth into something small and manageable. But now you're a hurricane. And there's no stopping the storm. The power of being chosen isn't just in your rise. It's in the fear you leave behind. They'll remember your name. They'll never forget the one who stood tall, who refused to play their games, and who walked away with grace and power. You are the one they never saw coming. So, chosen one, are you ready to step fully into this power, to own this new energy without apology? If you've felt the shift, if you know deep down that the old you is dead and buried, drop the number 77 in the comments. That's the number of completion, because this is the end of your people-pleasing era and the beginning of your unstoppable reign. Stay locked in, because what comes next will hit even harder. If you're truly one of the chosen, you won't just watch. You'll feel this in your bones. Let's get into it. Number 1. The old you is dead, and the new you will never fit in their box again. They played with the system, but they forgot. The universe doesn't make mistakes. And now, the very same system they tried to manipulate has turned against them. The rules have shifted, and the game has changed forever. And you're the one who made the change. Let me be crystal clear. If you're still doubting, if you're still questioning the power within you, then this message is for you. The universe doesn't waste time on mistakes, and neither should you. If you're still sitting there wondering if you're truly chosen, then listen up. You are not the same person who used to shrink, who used to bend and twist yourself into shapes to fit into other people's limited vision of who you should be. The person who was always afraid to speak their truth? Gone. That weak, unsure version of yourself who lived in fear of rejection or judgment? Vanished. And if you're even the slightest bit unsure, let me remind you, that person is dead, and they're never coming back. When the universe chooses you, it doesn't just align the stars for you, it clears the entire path. It's not about waiting for permission to rise. It's about seizing what's yours without asking for a single handout. You've unlocked something more powerful than most will ever comprehend. And if they think they can still control you, if they think they can still break you down with their games and manipulations, they're in for a rude awakening. Your rise. It wasn't just a lucky break. It was the universe aligning itself with your destiny, because you were always meant for this. Can you feel it yet? The electric surge of power running through your veins. That fire in your gut that keeps pushing you forward, refusing to be extinguished by their doubts and criticisms. That's not just motivation. That's the cosmic energy of transformation taking root inside of you. You're rewriting your very DNA at a cellular level, and they can feel it. They felt it the moment you started walking into rooms with your head held high, with your spine straight and your gaze unwavering. You've become someone they can no longer control. They can't manipulate the version of you that's standing before them now. And let's be honest, they hated it at first. They didn't like the change. They didn't like that you no longer cowered under their demands, no longer crumbled when they asked you to play small just to make them feel bigger. They could see the power radiating off of you, the same power they tried to break, to bury, to keep locked inside you like a genie in a bottle. But that bottle, it's shattered now. They feel it every time you walk into a room, don't they? The way they squint at you now, as if your presence is too much to bear. They can't handle it. The energy you carry now is louder than words. You're like gamma rays, penetrating everything in your path. Your energy is the kind that burns them. It's the kind of power they wish they could bottle, but they can't. It's impossible to shield against. They've become the ants under your boot, trying to hold on to their little kingdom while your very existence threatens to stomp it all down. And here's the truth they won't admit. They need you more than you need them. They want to control you because they think they have something that can break you, but they can't. Your strength is the very thing that haunts them now. Your independence, your confidence, your refusal to play their games, it rattles them, and it should. The old you is dead, and this new version of you, they'll never understand it. But don't get it twisted. You don't need them to understand. You've learned that the hard way. They wanted you to keep shrinking to fit into the mold they made for you, didn't they? But you're not shrinking anymore. You are expanding. And while they sit there in disbelief, trying to piece together what happened to the person they used to control, you're out here creating your new reality. If there's any doubt left in your mind, shake it off. Your evolution is not a phase. It's a permanent shift in who you are. And if you're still worried about what they think, about how they might try to pull you back into their webs, let me tell you something. That's exactly what they want. They want you to question. They want you to doubt. They want you to return to the old, manageable version of yourself. But that's not going to happen. You're already too far gone to go back. What's happening right now is irreversible. You are no longer the person they thought they could break. They can throw whatever they want at you, but your shield is impenetrable now. Their passive-aggressive comments, they bounce off you. Their manipulative tactics, they don't even faze you anymore. And when they try to provoke you, when they throw their little jabs your way, you don't even flinch. Why? Because you're not the same person anymore. You are untouchable. And the more they try, the more they remind themselves of exactly how much they've lost. You know why? Because you're chosen. You are the one who broke free from the shackles they placed around your worth. The one who dared to rise, to demand your value, to stop waiting for permission. They underestimated you, and now they're paying the price. Every glance in your direction now only reminds them of the failure they were too blind to see. They thought you'd always stay small. They thought you'd keep apologizing for taking up space, for breathing the same air as them. But look at you now. You are not the same person anymore, and they can't handle it, and they'll never get to. The universe has its own plans, and you, chosen one, are the center of it all. It's not about luck. It's not about waiting for your turn. It's about the fact that the universe chose you. And once you tap into that, once you align yourself with that cosmic power, there's no going back. You're on a path of greatness now, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. They played with the system, tried to bend the rules, tried to keep you down, and now they're watching you rise. They want to get in your orbit. It's too late. You've already outgrown them. And your rise? It's just beginning. Don't waste another second doubting your power. Don't waste another second questioning whether you deserve this transformation. You've earned every inch of the power now flowing through your veins. You are the storm they never saw coming. And now, it's too late for them. Number 2, they can't handle your glow-up, and it's devastating to them. Take a long, hard look at their faces. Go ahead, really study them. See that flicker of confusion in their eyes, that disbelief that's now written all over their faces, the panic setting in as they realize that all the games they used to play with you no longer work. Delicious. Every single one of them, without exception, had expected you to remain their puppet, their emotional punching bag, the person who bends to their will every time they pull their strings. They thought you would continue to shrink, continue to bend under their weight, until you could fit inside the tiny box they designed for you. But now they're watching in horror as you refuse to stay in that box anymore. They thought they had you figured out. They thought you were predictable. They thought you could be controlled. They were wrong. Your transformation isn't just about you getting stronger. It's a shockwave to everything they once thought they knew about you. People, those same people who took advantage of your kindness and your willingness to please, are now looking at a version of you that they can't manipulate, that they can't control, and certainly can't break. This isn't just uncomfortable for them, it's terrifying. Because every move they made to try and keep you small, to make you fit their narrative, has crumbled. And the panic? It's not just from your newfound strength. It's from the realization that they've lost their grip on you forever. They built their world on the back of your compliance. And now that the foundation has cracked, they have no idea how to rebuild it. They got used to you being the one who would bend, who would fold, who would do anything to make them feel comfortable, while you sacrificed yourself on the altar of their happiness. They were comfortable in their complacency, their belief that they could keep you wrapped around their fingers. They based their world on your submission, on your constant willingness to make them happy, even at the expense of your own peace. But they made a catastrophic miscalculation. They mistook your kindness for weakness. They mistook your patience for submission. They never realized kindness was a choice, not a flaw. And now they're seeing the power of choice at work. They thought you were weak because you chose kindness, but now you've shifted the scales. You've chosen yourself. You've chosen to no longer be their emotional support human, their doormat, their punching bag, their yes person. You've taken back your energy, your time, and your peace. You're no longer the one who absorbs their toxicity, no longer the emotional sponge that takes in their chaos without giving anything back. You're no longer the shock absorber for their outbursts, the safety net that's always there when they fall, only to be used and discarded when they're done. They are seeing your absence now, and it's shaking them to their core. You want to know what's priceless? It's that moment when they throw out the bait, the guilt trips, the manipulations, the passive-aggressive comments, and you don't take it. You don't flinch. You don't engage. You don't bite. Instead, you stare them down, unmoved, unshaken, unbothered. You've stopped playing their game, and they're left scrambling to figure out what just happened. They don't know how to react to someone who refuses to be controlled, someone who doesn't need their approval to exist, someone who can walk away from their manipulation without a second thought. They've always depended on your response, your reaction, your willingness to give in. And now they see you standing firm, unwavering, holding your ground without apology. They panic. And here's the bitter truth for them. They no longer have any power over you. What power do they have if they can't control you anymore? None. Absolutely none. They tried to keep you in a state of perpetual submission. And now that you're free, they have no tools left to pull you back. the hold they once had over your life, your decisions, your emotions. It's gone. But here's where it gets even better. They don't know what to do with this version of you, the new you that refuses to be anything but authentic. They can't fathom how someone could stand so firm in their truth, so unwavering in their boundaries. They can't understand how you've made a complete 180, turning the tables on them and becoming the person they never thought you'd be. They thought you were weak because you loved them, because you cared. But now that you love yourself, now that you see your own worth, they can't handle it. They can't fathom a version of you that's no longer interested in playing their game. And you're thriving without them, and it hurts them to watch. For years, they lived off the energy you gave them. They fed on your willingness to sacrifice for them. They took, and you gave, until there was nothing left. But you've had enough. The moment you stopped playing their game, stopped caring about their opinion, stopped seeking their approval, you became untouchable. And now they're stuck. Because once you stop allowing them to control the narrative, they have nothing left to fight you with. They tried to build their world on your submission, and now that world is crumbling, piece by piece. They don't know how to adjust to someone who refuses to shrink to their size anymore. And that's priceless. When you stop giving, stop bending, stop shrinking for them, you stop existing in their reality. You step out of their toxic orbit and into your own. And no matter how hard they try, they can't pull you back. They can't break you anymore. The more they try, the more they remind themselves of their own failure. Because deep down, they know this. They never saw you coming. They never saw you rise. They never saw you take control of your life, your power, your boundaries. And now that they're witnessing it, they can't handle it. They thought you were just going to stay quiet, to stay small, to continue playing their game. But the truth is, they were always afraid of the real you, the one who refuses to bend, the one who stands tall in their truth, the one who says no when necessary, and who walks away when it's time. And now they're paying the price for underestimating you. Number 3. The old you is dead. Time to bury the weakness for good. It's time for a funeral, not for you, chosen one, but for the old version of you, the one who bent over backward for people who never returned the same energy, the you who apologized for existing, for taking up space, for having needs, the one who exhausted themselves, making sure everyone else was comfortable, while your own soul screamed for attention, silently withering away. That version of you is gone. It's dead, buried, and decomposed. It's been returned to the cosmic dust from which we all came, and it's never coming back. Let's face it, you were the one they could always rely on, weren't you? The one who sacrificed their own needs to please others, the one who gave everything even when nothing was returned. They thrived off your self-sacrifice, feeding on your energy like parasites. You were the perfect vessel for their emotional draining, a sponge soaking up their chaos and giving no thought to your own well-being. They took, and you gave. It was never enough. You were nothing but a well they could keep drawing from until you were empty, and they did it with no guilt. You let them, didn't you? You allowed them to siphon your light, your time, your soul, until there was nothing left but a hollow shell of who you used to be. But not anymore. That person is gone, and the world is about to see it. You were the foundation of their comfort. You made their lives easier, more convenient, and in return, they gave you crumbs. They built their happiness on your misery, their ease on your struggle. They didn't care about the toll it took on you as long as they were satisfied. Your misery was their cushion, and your exhaustion their pedestal. But guess what? They don't get to use you anymore. They have to fend for themselves now. And here's the kicker. They're terrible at it. They've grown weak, software, atrophied. They don't know how to handle the world without you constantly saving them from their own messes. They never learned how to solve their own problems, how to manage their own emotions, because you were always there to pick up the slack. They didn't develop the resilience they needed, because you were the one absorbing their energy, soothing their chaos. And now that you've chosen yourself, now that you've decided you're no longer their emotional garbage dump, they're losing their minds. They're calling you selfish. They're calling you cold. They're throwing labels at you because they don't have the vocabulary to describe what's happening. They've never known someone who has healthy boundaries. They've never understood what it means to prioritize yourself over the toxic demands of others. You were never selfish before. You were just lost in the idea that your worth was tied to how much you could give, to how much you could sacrifice for others. But that version of you is dead. That person who thought her worth was measured by her ability to please, gone. The new you isn't apologizing anymore. The new you isn't bending to anyone's will. The new you stands firm in your own truth, your own needs, your own desires. And that's driving them crazy. Because the truth is, they can't control you anymore. They don't have the power to drain you or use you, and it terrifies them. The person who used to jump at their beck and call now walks away without a second thought. The person who used to get lost in the shadows now stands in the light, unapologetically glowing. They can't understand it. They can't comprehend how someone who used to be so malleable, so accommodating, has transformed into someone who is now unshakable. Your boundaries are your armor, and they can't penetrate it. They've never had to face someone who is as committed to their own well-being as they are to their own agendas. Let them panic. Let them call you selfish. Let them squirm as they realize you no longer care about their opinions. Because the truth is, you're not selfish. You're finally choosing yourself. You're no longer wasting your energy on people who only take. The old you, the one who lived for others at the expense of yourself. That version of you is dead and buried, and the world should be scared. Because now, you're free. You're free to stand tall, to take up space, to demand respect and love without apology. They won't know how to handle the new, untouchable version of you. And you'll keep glowing, knowing you've buried the weakness for good. Number 4, the transformation, rising from the ashes like a phoenix. You've evolved, and it's nothing short of a miracle. Like a caterpillar shedding its old skin to emerge as a butterfly, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, you've undergone a radical transformation. But this isn't some soft, gradual change. This is violent, beautiful, and irreversible. Just like the universe itself changed in the split second after the Big Bang, everything rearranged, everything shifted. You too have experienced a cosmic shift. While they were busy trying to keep you small, trying to box you in, you were quietly building, planning, growing, and evolving in the shadows. They didn't see it coming, and now that the results are undeniable, they can't do a damn thing about it. Your glow-up is real, and it's hitting them right where it hurts the most. Every inch of progress you've made is a slap in the face to the ones who used to underestimate you. Your success in your career, in your relationships, in your health, and most importantly, in your mindset, is a constant reminder of what they could have had if only they had treated you better. If they had invested in you, instead of trying to drain your energy, your resources, and your soul, they'd be reaping the rewards now. But instead, they're left watching as you rise, stronger, sharper, and more focused than ever. The best part? They never saw it coming. You kept your moves low. You didn't need to broadcast your every move to the world. You weren't posting about every little victory, seeking the validation of others for your every step. You didn't need the applause. You weren't looking for confirmation or recognition at the start of your journey. You kept it quiet, kept it under wraps, and executed in silence. While they were running their mouths, making promises they could never keep, talking about all the things they were going to do without ever actually doing them, you were making real moves. And now that you're winning, they're scrambling to figure out how to catch up. They can't stand it. They've watched you rise from nothing, and now they're studying you like some kind of rare specimen. They're analyzing your every move, dissecting your life, trying to reverse engineer your transformation. They want to know how you did it, how you pulled yourself out of the darkness and into the light. But here's the problem for them. They didn't do the work. They didn't put in the long nights, the soul-crushing work, the painful self-reflection that you did. They didn't face the demons you faced. They didn't shed the weight of their own bullshit like you did. So now, they're left trying to replicate your success without understanding the true process that made it happen. They're looking for shortcuts, for easy answers, but they'll never get there because they didn't earn it like you did. This transformation wasn't handed to you. It wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. You earned every ounce of your success. You built it from the ground up, piece by piece, brick by brick. And now, the ones who thought they could keep you in a box are forced to sit back and watch as you shatter every limitation they ever placed on you. Your growth is their pain. Every moment you rise higher, you remind them of their failure to recognize your worth. And they can't stand it. But here's the kicker. They'll never be able to replicate what you've done. They might try to mimic your moves, copy your actions, and dissect your every choice. But the truth is, they'll always fall short. They can't fake the inner work. They can't copy the pain you endured, the sacrifices you made, and the strength you found in the struggle. They want what you have, but they'll never have the heart, the resilience, or the depth of purpose that you do. Your success is not just a result of talent or luck. It's the culmination of everything you've overcome, everything you've survived, and everything you've chosen to become. And now, as you stand in the glow of your transformation, don't waste a second worrying about them. Let them study you, let them wonder, let them try and figure out the secret. They'll never get it, because the secret is simple. You didn't stop. You never gave up. You kept evolving, kept growing, and kept rising. And now you are unstoppable. Number 5. The power of true confidence. Unshakable, untouchable, and unbothered. Your confidence now, it's nothing short of terrifying to those who once controlled you. They never saw this coming. They never imagined the quiet, uncertain person they once manipulated would transform into someone so unshakable, so unapologetic. Confident people, real confident people, cannot be controlled. They don't bow to anyone. They don't seek validation from people who never truly valued them. They don't twist themselves into pretzels, bending to fit someone else's expectations just to earn love or approval that should have been freely given from the start. They don't live to appease. And you've stepped into that power. You are radiating confidence now, but it's not the shallow, performative kind that needs constant external validation to survive. No, this confidence runs deep, so deep it's carved into your bones. It's soul-level certainty that flows from a place of total self-acceptance, the kind that comes from looking yourself in the mirror and finally being at peace with the person staring back at you. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't ask for permission, doesn't need approval, and doesn't apologize for existing. You've been through the fires, the betrayals, the manipulations, and yet here you stand, stronger, clearer, and more authentic than ever. And this confidence, it's not a mask you put on for show. It's the result of every moment you chose yourself over their toxic demands, every time you refused to shrink to make someone else comfortable. They tried to keep you small, tried to make you second-guess yourself, and for a while, maybe it worked. But not anymore. Now, you see through every game they play. Your vision is 20/20, and now you see everything clearly. All the things that used to be hidden from you are now in full view. The subtle manipulations, the passive-aggressive comments disguised as just jokes, the backhanded compliments that were really just veiled insults. You see it all. They no longer have the power to pull the wool over your eyes. Those who once tried to keep you dependent on their approval. You see right through their fake support, their hidden jealousy. You know their game, and you're not playing anymore. You've done the work. You've shed the layers of self-doubt and insecurity they tried to pile onto you. You don't need their validation anymore, because the one thing you now know is that your value was never determined by them. It was always within you. You've always been enough. And that truth, it terrifies the ones who used to control you. They can't handle this version of you, the one who stands firm in their truth, the one who refuses to shrink or apologize for their power. So, let them squirm. Let them throw their manipulative comments your way. Let them try to undermine you, because you've stopped caring. You see them for what they are, and it's no longer your problem. The power they once had over you, it's gone. Your new confidence is impenetrable. They thought they could break you, but what they didn't know is that your strength was never theirs to take. Your confidence is not about arrogance. It's about freedom. Freedom from their judgment, their opinions, and their toxic games. You've done the impossible. You've embraced your authenticity, and in doing so, you've unlocked a power they could never understand. And now, it's their turn to watch as you walk through life, unbothered, unshaken, and completely untouchable. Number 6. Cutting the toxic ties. No more energy vampires. Anyone who ever tried to use you, guilt-trip you, or manipulate you is now out of your life. Gone. The energy vampires, the constant critics, the fair-weather friends who only show up when it benefits them, the jealous saboteurs who want to see you fail. The emotional blackmailers who tried to play on your heartstrings, the perpetual victims who never took responsibility, all of them gone, and it's been with surgical precision. No explanations needed, no lengthy goodbyes, no tearful farewells, no dramatic confrontations where you aired all their dirty laundry, no begging them to understand or see things from your perspective. You didn't waste your time on any of that. Instead, with the quiet dignity of someone who knows their worth, you cut them out like the cancer they are. A clean incision, a necessary amputation, removing the rot before it could spread any further. And while they were still caught in their toxic games, you were already moving on, leaving them in your past. There's no room in your life anymore for people who suck the life out of you, for anyone who only brings negativity and drama. Some of them, sure, maybe they deserved a conversation, but most of them, they didn't. None of them were entitled to unlimited chances to hurt you, to drain your energy, to disrespect your boundaries. You've given them more than enough chances, and you don't need to keep pouring into empty cups. You've realized that you don't owe anyone your time, your energy, or your heart if they can't value it. You don't owe them explanations. You're done. And now, they're feeling the sting of your absence in ways they never thought possible. You walked away completely. And that's their worst nightmare. They never thought you would. They thought they could continue using you, playing their games, and you would always be there to pick up the pieces. But not anymore. Now, they're scrambling, blowing up your phone, showing up uninvited, hoping to draw you back into their drama, sending people, flying monkeys, to check in on you, trying to manipulate your friends to get close again. But you see right through it. You're not playing that game anymore. You've flipped the board, scattered the pieces, and walked away. You've left the room and found better, more supportive people to surround yourself with. People who bring value to your life, who respect your boundaries, who celebrate your success instead of sabotaging it. Those are the ones you're investing in now, the ones who understand the importance of giving as much as they take. Your time, your energy, your peace, they're worth more than the drama and manipulation they tried to pull you into. And now, as you stand firm in your decision to let go of the toxic, the draining, and the unworthy, you realize something powerful. You've taken your power back. No more games, no more emotional vampires, no more fake friends. You're moving forward, and they'll have to watch you rise from the sidelines. And honestly, they'll never understand how you did it, how you walked away without a second thought. But that's their problem, not yours. You've cut the ties, and you're free. You've made space for the people who truly matter, and now you're thriving in ways they can only dream of. Number 7. The future awaits. Embrace your power as a chosen one. Hello, chosen one. Look at where you are now. Reflect on the journey you've taken to get here, and then think about where you're headed. You're standing at the precipice of something bigger, something more extraordinary than you could have ever imagined. And trust me when I say, you're not just passing through life anymore. You're about to step into a reality that was always waiting for you. A reality where you claim your place with authority and confidence. Right now, you're on the outside of a transformative world. You're not yet in the obsidian inner order, but you could be. Picture this: weekly group calls with over 450 chosen ones, all committed to growth, empowerment, and limitless potential. And the best part? These calls are recorded and available whenever you need them, so you can dive deep into the wisdom, strategies, and insights shared within this powerful community. Our private Discord isn't just a chat room, it's alive. It's buzzing with ideas, breakthroughs, and that unstoppable chosen energy that only a select few get to experience. In this space, every conversation is a spark, every connection is a chance to elevate, and every moment is an opportunity to expand into the highest version of yourself. The energy here isn't just inspiring, it's transformative. It's where soul evolution happens, and you have a front row seat. For those of you who feel the pull of connection, there's something just as extraordinary waiting for you. Welcome to Chosen Singles, a place where soulmates meet, not through cheap pickup lines, but under cosmic alignments. This isn't some dating app. This is where the universe has designed the perfect conditions for powerful connections to thrive. If you're ready to meet someone who understands your journey, someone who matches your frequency, this is where that magic happens. But here's the real power behind this community. It's not just a group, not just a network of like-minded individuals. It's a re-evolution of soul and spirit. It's a movement, a collective of chosen ones who have awakened to their true power and are standing together to create a world that reflects their worth. This isn't about fitting in or waiting for validation. This is about being unapologetically you. This is about aligning with others who refuse to shrink, who have committed to never playing small, and who are unshakable in their purpose. You've already made the decision to evolve, to leave behind the limitations and fears of the past. Now, the future is wide open. The tools are here. The wisdom is here. The energy is here. It's all within your reach, and all you need to do is step in. Are you ready to truly live as a chosen one? This is your chance to be part of something bigger than yourself, to step into your power, to connect with others on the same path, and to create the life you deserve, one that's in full alignment with your highest self. Don't wait for permission. The universe has already chosen you. Now it's time for you to claim your seat at the table. The future is waiting, and it's yours for the taking. The choice is yours. Will you answer the call? Number 8. The past is behind you. Let them beg. You're moving forward. And now, that toxic ex, the one who treated your relationship like a revolving door, the one who thought they could waltz in and out whenever they pleased, they're begging now. Isn't it interesting? They're suddenly in love again. Suddenly, they've changed. Suddenly, they're ready to give you everything they withheld, everything they took for granted. Suddenly, they see and appreciate all the qualities they once criticized. Suddenly, they understand what they had, now that they've lost it. How convenient, how utterly predictable. It's almost laughable. They come crawling back with all their empty promises, thinking that they can simply pick up where they left off, that they can charm you into forgetting all the pain they caused, all the neglect, and all the disrespect. But here's the truth. You don't need them anymore. You don't need their closure. You don't need their apologies. You don't need them to change, to prove they care, or to beg for another chance. You've already moved on. You've already outgrown them. You're too busy loving yourself to waste a single second on their desperate attempts to reclaim what they carelessly discarded. You've chosen yourself now, And that's all the closure you'll ever need. Their words, their actions, they mean nothing to you anymore because your peace is too valuable to entertain their chaos. You've built a life for yourself that's full of self-respect, growth and purpose, and they want to come back into that space. After all the times they made you feel small, unworthy, or invisible, now that they see you thriving, now that they see you glowing with the kind of power they never took the time to appreciate, they want in. But that door is closed. The past is behind you, and it's staying there. You've learned the hard way that sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is walk away from the people who don't value you, no matter how much they claim to love you, once they see what they've lost. You're not interested in revisiting a past that did nothing but drain your energy, suffocate your growth, and dim your light. You've come too far to go backward. You've worked too hard to get where you are now, and you're too focused on your future to let someone who never saw your worth drag you back into their mess. You're no longer available for anything less than what you deserve. So, let them beg. Let them try to manipulate their way back into your life. Let them think they can have another shot at something they already threw away. But you're moving forward. You're walking into a future that's full of promise, full of the kind of love and respect that you've been giving yourself. And when you look back, it won't be with regret. It'll be with gratitude for the lessons learned, the strength gained, and the space you've made for people who truly value you. Let them beg. You've already won. This is your time, chosen one. Your renaissance, your resurrection, your reclamation. The universe is no longer working against you. It's conspiring in your favor. Every cosmic force is aligning to support your evolution, bending the very fabric of reality to accommodate your expansion. Stars are rearranging themselves, galaxies are shifting, and quantum particles are aligning to manifest your desires. The ancestral spirits stand in awe of your transformation. Earth, air, fire, and water are combining their powers to fuel your ascension. You've finally realized your worth, and the universe has no choice but to rise with you. When you decide you're worth fighting for, even the cosmos takes notice. Shine on, you magnificent force of nature. Radiate that unmistakable glow, the one forged through fire, the one that's stronger, clearer, and more powerful than ever before. They never saw you coming, but you did. And that's what makes all the difference. This is your moment. Own it. Stay committed to your growth. Keep your standards high, and never let anyone dim your light. The world is waiting for you to rise, ready to take the next step. Like, comment, and share this message with those who need to hear it. Let's keep building this community of unstoppable chosen ones. Your time is now. Let the world see you shine.